And our transfer guru, Alex Crook, joins us this morning. Morning to Alex.
Alex.
Good morning.
Alex, first up, this deal seems to be never getting any closer. Rafinha, what is happening?
I tell you what, there's a few sagas this summer, and I think Rafinha is certainly in that category. Leeds actually are due to go off for their pre-season tour tomorrow to Australia, so it's going to be very interesting to see if Rafinha is on the flight. I strongly suspect he won't be because he wants to join Barcelona. They're still yet to match the offer that Chelsea made several weeks ago now, actually. Chelsea waiting to agree personal terms with Rafinha, but Barcelona getting closer to that £55 million fee. It's a very creative deal. I was told by a source close to it, they don't want to pay their first chunk of money. They want to pay it in instalments. They don't want to pay the first instalment until next year. How palatable that will be for Leeds, I don't know, because what I've also been told is there's a genuine concern amongst selling clubs that if they do that kind of deal with Barcelona, Barcelona might not be around to pay the instalments. They really fear for the financial future of Barcelona in terms of administration, maybe even bankruptcy. So it's a really difficult one for Leeds when you've got a player who really only has his sights set on one club. You've accepted a bid from another. What do you do? Because you can't force him to Chelsea, can you?
No, but, I mean, really? Barcelona bankrupt?
That's what I've been told. There's a concern about their financial future, about the threat of administration, unless they can find a huge pot of money. So it's really concerning for a club the size of that these kind of conversations are being had even behind the scenes.
Well, obviously, with the Frankie de Jong situation and the rumours of them owing him money, which is delaying his possible transfer, I mean, you can see that there are bigger issues at Barcelona, aren't there? Let's move on to Nathan Ake. Could he really be heading back to Chelsea?
I think he could. Personal terms pretty much agreed between him and the club. They're still to agree a fee with Manchester City, but I think Chelsea are willing to let Nathan Ake go, not because they're trying to force him out the door, but because they know they can't offer him the regular first-team football that he wants. I think Chelsea's opening offer was £30 million. City want nearer £50 million, so I would imagine they will meet somewhere in the middle, and he won't be the only centre-back on his way to Stamford Bridge. They want at least two, if not three, central defenders this summer because, of course, they lost Rudiger. Christensen has joined for Barcelona, although I'm still not sure that Barcelona have been able to register him officially as yet. He's a different kind of centre-back, Nathan Ake, to Rudiger. Different type of personality as well. Got to know him quite well when he was at Bournemouth. He's a terrific guy. He's a fantastic professional, but maybe not quite the character in the dressing room that Rudiger was.
But he's incredibly versatile, isn't he? More than Rudiger was.
Mm-hmm.
As you can play in full-back, you could play in certainly centre-half, and you could even, I believe, you could stick him in midfield if you wanted to hold a midfielding role.
Yeah, he played at left-back for Manchester City quite a lot. I've seen him play in midfield for Bournemouth. He's comfortable on the left-hand side of a back three as well. So you're right, versatility, certainly one of his strengths. And obviously it could be a double deal from Manchester City because we're still waiting for Raheem Sterling to be formally confirmed. I actually expected that to happen by now, so I'm not sure what the hold-up is there. But Todd Bowley's been busy, hasn't he? He's been in Barcelona. He's met George Mendes. He's certainly putting himself around.
What about Manchester United talking about being busy because Lisandro Martinez, is that deal going to be done over the weekend?
Well, Natalie's just mentioned Frankie de Jong, which is the other saga, along with Rafinha this summer. And I think the longer that drags on because of the issue that he's got in terms of the wages that he's owed by Barcelona, the more pessimistic United will become. In terms of Lisandro Martinez, they've made a €50 million bid to Ajax. They're yet to be told if that's been accepted or rejected because I think Ajax are waiting to see if Arsenal can match it. I'm not sure they will because I think Martinez has his sights set on a move to Manchester United. He's played under Erik ten Hag, of course, at Ajax, so they are his preferred destination. He's made it pretty clear to Ajax that he wants to leave Amsterdam this summer. They're also in the market for a striker, maybe to replace Ronaldo, although I'm still not 100% convinced that he will leave the club. They've been offered Dybala, but I think at the moment that's agent-led. Another player that is on their list, as we understand it, is Brian Brobby, another former Ajax player, currently plying his trade in Germany. That would be a fee of around about £17 million. He's a 20-year-old forward, and that's one that that could well happen. And of course, we're waiting for Christian Eriksen, much to Natalie's despair, to be officially confirmed as United player as well. Are you okay about that, Nat? Because I know you were quite animated about that earlier in the week.
Am I all right about? I mean, I'm fine about it now. It was done and dusted. We all move on. I just think it's. What can I say? A little bit sad that he didn't want to stay on with us, but that is how it's meant to be, and that's fine. You know, when you sign a short-term contract with no option, I suppose it was inevitable that if he thought he was going to impress, that bigger clubs would come in for him. I just think in terms of we were the ones that gave him that opportunity back into football, so it would have been a real feel-good story if he'd remained with us. But having said that, we move on. It's all fine. Wish him well and all that lovey-dovey stuff.
She says through their gritted teeth.
Very gritted teeth. You're absolutely right. I will be booing him on his return. No, I won't. Let's lastly talk about Southampton bolstering their ranks. Joe Aribo, is this the midfielder they're looking for?
Yeah, he was having his medical yesterday. I would expect that to be confirmed officially today. It's a 5-year contract. I think he'll sign £10 million. The fee will be once various add-ons have been applied. That's his release clause at Rangers. I think he's a good signing because he's a little bit more experienced than some of the players they've signed this summer. Again, he's versatile. I saw him play as a striker, scored when I was sat alongside our own Jim White in the Europa League final. He's more of a midfielder usually, but he can play out wide as well if needed. And I was told yesterday, because they've strengthened in the goalkeeping department, they've got Gavin Bazunu in, they've strengthened defensively, they've signed Romeo Lavia, a midfielder from Manchester City as well, and now Aribo. They've got a decent sum of money to spend on a centre forward. So I think Southampton fans can be quite excited about what they've done this summer. They've certainly backed Ralph Hasenhüttl and have been one of the busier clubs in the market. Again, the attention will now turn in some ways to players leaving the club. I think they're open to offers for Jan Bednarek, a central defender who's attracting interest from Italy. I think Theo Walcott could well leave on and may well follow his former youth teammate at Southampton, Gareth Bale, to America. You've got players like Nathan Redmond and Moussa Djenepo they could be open to offers for as well. So a summer of change down on the south coast.
Okay. Just lastly, though, quickly on something you just said about they're looking for a forward potentially. It seems like a lot of clubs are looking for forwards. So where will they find one?
I think they may well wait and see what happens with the bigger clubs in terms of maybe some of the younger players, the likes of Manchester United and Chelsea. I don't think it will be Armando Broja. He had a loan spell last season, but I think they believe the fee that Chelsea are looking for, around about £30 million, plus his wage demands, make him a little bit overpriced. I think West Ham, the favourites for his signature, he's been linked with Newcastle as well, but again, I'm not sure how genuine that interest is. So I think maybe they'll let these big clubs get their pre-season tours out the way, get some signings through the building, and then maybe they might make a decent offer for one of their up-and-coming young players.